Hey gamers, just having some technical snags, but I should be going in a second. Right. Cool. Right. Okay, what were we even doing last?
Behind the dockworkers, a ceiling-height window. The hawthorn branches, you see two, maybe three bushes, grown into a single thicket over a period of circa 50 years. It takes time for a hedge like that to form. There's a little slide panel up there to let some air in. No need to open it in spring. It's still too cold outside. One can't see into the union box from the yard outside. That hawthorn is too thick. Nothing, just black tangles like the hair of an old woman, motionless. The wind in the yard doesn't reach the hawthorn, nor does the light come in from this window. You see a heavy steel door with...
Okay, I think I just don't have the stats to spot the key. So. Alright, won't worry about that too much. Give me a minute, gotta remember what I was doing last time. Right. It's... Yep, hey trash pack. Yeah, I decided to... I don't know. Yesterday was fun, but I kind of wanted to just like... I want to finish this... I want to finish this before I start anything else big. I didn't really feel like doing another... I don't know, streaming a bunch of different things. And I still...
The door is closed.
My splitter still isn't coming from Amazon. It's like between 7:30 and 10 p.m.
There is no answer. You hear the shower being turned on somewhere inside.
I think I... Let me know if you see it, if there's any technical issues. I think my audio inputs are acting up again. So it's a problem I had with this computer even when I was running Windows on it, so I don't know what the hell. And at least I figured out all the fucked up colors are from having HDR turned on. It's having the same problem with the PS5, and that
A tremendous loneliness comes over you. Everybody in the world is doing something without you.
so I didn't even realize I had it turned on so I had it turned on my Steam Deck, and it's basically, it'll look fine on the TV because this is not a, I don't know, it has kind of that whatever the fake HDR they put in LCD TVs, and then it's basically, it'll look, the colors will be washed out, and you touch I try to change like the saturation or whatever in OBS, and it'll just go completely washed out, and it's like, those are the only two settings. I turned off HDR and just everything, went back. So whatever. Let me change levels like normal, but they look fine at the default as far as I can tell. Alright. But back to the game. Gonna see if Claudio will let me in a room yet. That might be a little bit later in the game. Let's see.
The door is closed. Still no answer.
Oh, it's not. Alright, let's see. Do I want to do more things today, or do I just read a book and pass time? Signatures. That's awesome. Although, yeah, all those quests are things that I need to get across to the other side of town. All right.
What do you want to know? Good.
I guess I'll finally sit down and read this book.
The Greatest Innocence by João Paulo Salomão Lopes de Fuego. The book is large and heavy. Browsing through the various chapters, you try your best to understand the ceaseless overflow, the sprawl of names, dates, places, events historical. Most of it ends up as a twisted mass of facts inside your brain. Your educational survey is done. Did you catch any of that? No. Oh well, it's pop quiz time. Let's see what you've learned. This might take a few minutes. You ready? That's the spirit. Here we go. Question 1. Who was the first innocence? Oh yeah, this is what I was made for. Incorrect. Dolores Day was the innocence of humanism, internationalism, and the welfare state. She codified parliamentary democracy and created modern institutions. Among these, the moral intern, she was powerful and beautiful on all her icons. Her colors are silver, white, and apricot. And when you think her name, Dolores, stomach acid rises to the back of your throat, and it hurts. You see a flash silver, a wreath, an airport bag, and blonde hair. You don't know why. Another choice, perhaps?
Oh, okay. His ex-wife is named Dolores, I think.
Steer clear of this one. There's something terrible about this one. A strange sensation of loss. When she left the earth, the dust, and the ice, and the humans. That is unimportant to the quiz. Stop thinking about this. Yes, the quiz is impersonal. No need to rouse sensations in yourself at the mention of Dolores Day. Who was the first innocence? It wasn't Dolores Day. A pop quiz is a short examination designed to test your knowledge without any prior warning or announcement. Such exams allow the teacher to assess how thoroughly the students have retained the material at hand. Voila. Now blast that first innocence. Thanks for nothing. Dolores Day. Dolores. Incorrect. Sola was anointed during the previous century and even lived to see the current one. She was an urban planner who spoke her mind and largely left history to its own devices, encouraging people to excel on their own rather than prescribing to a deified model of history. She is often called an anti-innocence. Sola resigned after an assassination attempt by a Yugo nationalist who blamed her for not taking the side of the left during the turn-of-the-century revolutions. Innocences don't usually resign. Care to try again? Correct. Nothing much is known about him. It's not even clear that he was a he, but Franco Negro presumed as such and called him Pius. He's depicted as a young man with molten gold pouring out of his mouth. All he spoke was gold. It's said he invented God and equality of men before God. He also introduced the gold standard as a way for measuring people's love for Aurum. As the first innocence, he declared that there should be more of those like him. It is presumed his disciples were the beginning of the Holy Party, the founding party. Question 2. Who was the strongest innocence? Easy. Everybody knows the answer to this. You, me, anybody. An innocence is the highest category of historical personage in the world, a literal personification of history. Traditionally, an innocence, when anointed, assumes supreme rule over the Occident or the known world in general, at least the parts that matter. I can do better. Okay, so commonly an innocence does not enforce his or her power through military power. This is seen as unnecessary. The innocence wins because an innocence can't help but win, for their deeds are inevitabilities. Did this help? Great, Dolores. Incorrect again. While she originated many modern institutions, launched several successful expeditions, and was even critical of the innocentic system itself, and somehow keeps popping up in your mind, she is not often considered the strongest. Even though the words most associated with her rule are l'amour, la compassion, la autodiscipline, love, compassion, self-control, which could be seen as facets of strength. Would you like to try again? Correct. Named the innocence of militarism, he codified hereditary rule, but at the same time ended serfdom and established the inter-isolar
Dolores is definitely
as
the
the
strongest
global
innocent.
reserve currency. He also established the concept of the nation. Franco Negro attempted to solve the rising tensions between the aristocracy and bourgeoisie by building a unified society in which every man has a place and a mission, but at the same time may rise to nobility provided on the strength of his virtue. Question 3. Who was the false innocence? Got it under control. No problem. Solid on this one. It's widespread historical information. Yes, there exists a group called the Founding Party, known as the Holy Party, during the time of the Pericarnacian. This, the world's oldest international organization, spends its time in search of either the re-emergence of the innocents or new members. There seems to be a mix-up with the sources. It's not my fault. At least it clearly wasn't Dolores Day. She wouldn't be false. She's beautiful. No, stop thinking it. I said it wasn't her. She was true. No, stop thinking it.
I had to try.
I said it wasn't her. She was true. Correct. There have been a number of counter or false innocences, some assumed to have innocentic qualities, some who just thought so themselves. Occasionally, they have the support of a faction inside the ecclesiastic organization, and accusations of foul play have arisen. The most famous and important of these was Ernest Pasternak. He was into torture, despotism, hymns, cannons, and world conquest, but got defeated and humiliated by Stepan the Despicable of Kedra. Final stretch. You've come so far and learned so much. This is the most important one. Question 4. Who was the greatest innocence? the most important of them all, the most precious to humankind. I've got it, honest. Of course, this is my thing, the reason I exist in this world. The correct answer is Franco Negro. 0 doubts. Correct. The Mesk might see Franco Negro as the father of nations, but as of this century, there's been a great shift in attitude. Dolores Day has become widely regarded as the greatest innocence, a most radical change to the whole fabric of the world. Everything from inter-esolary travel to the connected world to 3 consecutive scientific revolutions can be traced back to her. Every decade that passes, she seems less human somehow, and more beautiful. Congratulations on finishing the test. The results and your subsequent grade have been calculated. You get a D, not particularly remarkable, but technically a passing grade. Not that anyone really expected better.
D's get degrees.
You would have done better if you just left Dolores Day for the end. Dial the Dolores Day down a bit.
What's going on with you? Okay.
You are shouting at an inanimate object, like a real weirdo. No wonder you seem to have trouble with the right answers.
Yeah. Let's see.
The front of this quarterly journal features a large satirical portrait of the late King Friesel. From the sides of his head, a pair of white antlers spread to the corners of the cover. Because Friesel was incompetent, foolish, and cruel. In short, the embodiment of everything the communards wished to overthrow. It's satire, you see. To your disappointment, there aren't any full-color pictures to direct your attention. Just column after column of closely set text, interrupted occasionally by little doodles in black and white. After rifling the pages with your thumb several times, you return to the table of contents. The magazine is divided into several sections: international developments, Kunst und Kultur, and local concerns. Just inside the cover, there's also an editor's note. Comrade, as you know, this journal takes its name from Mazov's immortal expression, du cristal à la fumée. This was his way of describing the way the rigid, crystalline structures of capitalist ideology turn to smoke under communism. But, like the structures of capitalist ideology, we too are at risk of going à la fumée. Unlike many publications which are content to spoon-feed their readers reassuring drivel, La Fumée is committed to telling the radical truth, even when that truth may drive away potential subscribers. Only 4 issues in, and it sounds like they've already alienated their readership. So please, if you value our radical Mazovian perspective on contemporary politics, culture, and international affairs, please consider subscribing today. Yours in struggle, the editors.
What do you expect? It was laying around the office of the Debarders Union. They're probably bankrolling the thing.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you. This section includes a long, tedious critique of the latest round of free trade negotiations between the EPIS nations and the Free State of Semenine. You also skip over an article about heavy fuel oil smuggling along the Mesk-Messina border, something about bear wrestling in Samara, book riots in Yugograd. Face it, you really aren't interested in foreign affairs. You're not even sure where most of these countries are. You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you. It takes a moment, but gradually it dawns on you that Kunst und Kultur must mean arts and culture. Why they decided to title this one section in Volda is beyond you. As you leaf through this section, you come across several reviews of recent radio plays, as well as a brief artist spotlight featuring a local artist identified only as CS.
Yeah, Cindy the Skull.
The main feature, though, is a long essay titled Tip Top Tournée, a critical Mazovian perspective. The Tip Top Tournée is an inter-Isolari racing series, mostly known for its high speeds, ludicrous sponsorship deals, and high death toll. In Revachol, it's held quadrennially on the prestigious Zero Carousel racing circuit. This so-called artist spotlight is really just a brief Q&A, made all the briefer by the subject's evident hostility to her interviewer. You think you're settling in for a relaxing recap of the most recent season, maybe sprinkled with some nice anecdotes about a few of the more colorful drivers. Instead, you find yourself skimming a 10,000-word feature about all the politically problematic aspects of Tip Top Tournée. Where to even start? For one, there's the crass commercialism of its sponsorships, and then there's the practically criminal emphasis on deadly motor crashes. So, all of it, basically. Oddly enough, this article has 2 bylines: Nasteb Encolada Bernal and Exilus Buka. There's no way those are real names. Have you ever met anyone named Exilus? Come on, they're plainly pseudonyms. And that precisely is what's problematic about it. Were it not for the promise of random, spectacular violence, audiences would quickly lose interest. At the end of the day, it's the destruction of these 750,000 real races that you're really watching for. You see, one cannot avoid the conclusion that Tip Top Tournée is simply the apotheosis of spectacular entertainment under capitalism.
I can safely say the thought had never crossed my mind, Detective. I'm sure most things are, if the young men who wrote this article are to be believed. If I had to wager, I'd say they've never even seen the inside of a motor, much less a motor race. I take whatever they write with a large grain of salt.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you. Unsurprisingly, much of this section is taken up with articles declaring unqualified support for the dock workers' strike. You skim the headlines. Paint the harbor red and white. Martinez tames the wild pines. A city in revolt. First we take Martinez, then we take La Delta. Finally, there's a brief article by the writer, G. Martin, accusing the owner of the Capeside apartments of illegally attempting to evict certain communist tenants simply for not having paid their rent.
I think that's the smoking guy, but I'm not 100% on that. I'll take the communist
The writer
answer.
G. Martin remarks dryly that capitalists love wealth redistribution so long as it's only redistributed upward. It's true, the rentiers have been bleeding you dry. You really ought to find your own place one of these days. You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table
And
It's the ledger you found in the trash. Arson, petty theft, spousal abuse. You don't exactly close them. It takes about half an hour to piece one together, using the system you've devised. Which one do you
read a
want?
couple more of these. So I think 2100's when I can go to sleep.
aka Leslie and Burke, aka the public indecency drunk and the property damage drunk, is a cursed case. It has been passed from unsuspecting officer to unsuspecting officer for 10 years. On January 29, the unsolvable case made its way to you. Why you accepted it, it is unclear. Every officer, and indeed most civilians in general, know it's unsolvable. You were so drunk you didn't remember what it was when you signed on. That, or you were high. Leslie will always take his pants off when he's drunk. Burke will always trash everything. It's just what they do. It is their nature. You cannot change the nature of a man, and you can't lock them away because public indecency and small-scale property damage are not punishable by incarceration. The only way for Leslie to stop flashing his genitals to bypassers and for Burke to stop dismantling signage and rear-view mirrors would be for them to stop drinking alcohol, which in their 40s or 50s, it's hard to tell because of their distorted features, is a medical improbability on par with you ceasing to produce the expression. You would think that, but you're wrong. Where's the fun in exposing your genitals or breaking stuff in your own home? No, Leslie and Burke are on the corner of Main Street and Perdition because that's where the action is. Can you keep yourself off the streets? Threatening fines, dragging them to the station, locking them up in the hellholes they live in, locking them up in the station, hypnotherapy, even trying to get the local gang of Zemyaki to take them out. The Zemyaki gave them ethanol so Burke and Leslie would expose and rampage even harder. You tried it all, and still the complaints wouldn't stop, as they hadn't stopped for 10 years. It's plain to see from the files that you, Satellite Officer JV, and Special Consultant TH had more important cases to attend to. You uncover cross-reference to several ongoing investigations, each brought to a standstill every time you drive down Main Street. Because there they are, on the corner of Perdition. And what is Leslie doing?
Let's see. Okay, Leslie's the public indecency.
Good, you're learning. If the files are to be trusted, that's all there is to it. That and Burke breaking things, and the fact that they're both drunk. But then again, so are you. The case becomes considerably less comic one day when Burke takes a swing at your ledger.
Oh, hold on, I gotta call. All right, that was Amazon with the thing I ordered at 8:45 p.m. That's and I guess at least he didn't just leave it in front, like inside the door, like a lot of the people do. Yeah, it is. This is the one. Looked like people were recommending on Reddit. HBAV link. Cool. It's just a little. HDMI. And let's see. Bullet in HDMI signal, and I guess it supposedly strips out HDCP, which PS5 PS5 it's just an option. It just says like some stuff isn't gonna work if you turn it off, but PS3 it's fucking hardwired into it and you can't turn it off, even if you put aftermarket firmware in it like I did.
He must have it confused with the property he likes to damage. But the joke's on him. You're drunk out of your mind on potent Pilsner. You slam the hardened plastic board in his face. Then you proceed to beat him unconscious with it. In the process, the ledger sustains damage. The compartment within, reserved for permeable documents, is jammed shut. You stop your assault on the now unconscious Burke to open it, but are unable to do so. The officer began to cry, reports Leslie, who, at this point, is tending to Burke. He came at us, and at us. I think he was trying to kill Burko. While trying to kill Burko, you slowly come around. The permeables compartment is open. You've smashed it open on poor Burko's kneecaps. The good news is, Burke can't walk anymore. Can't get out of his apartment, an invalid. With Burke to tend to, Leslie cuts back on the indecent exposure. Maybe he flashes his genitals to Burke. Who knows? But both drunks are off the street. The complaints stop. The unsolvable case is solved. Which is also why the officer responsible narrowly escapes a disciplinary hearing. The end. Do you want to read another one?
I'll do maybe what, yeah, I think I said earlier, I'd maybe do like one a day.
Not much has changed in the meanwhile. A bunch of sodden papers still sags from the clipboard.
I know what the point of no return in the story is, so if I'm about to get there and I haven't read all the cases, I'll show them all on stream.
Bankruptcy sequence.
Oh, and what does this get me?
It's easy. You just need to move on. Like a plague of locusts. Like a fucking plague. Failure is a core tenet of liberalism. When life closes a door, it opens a window. And if the fall is too steep, use the fire exit. Run to the roof. You always have that airship on the dock. The most important thing is to keep moving. Keep dreaming. The auditors cannot get to you if you keep running. Very, very fast. From one fuck up to the next.
White check failures give +1 real. Well, it's not nothing. I should probably take the communist one at some point because I think that'll unlock a quest line. Oh.
Yes?
The bed is still cold from the broken window, and not too inviting. But it's yours. You've earned it. The bed is still cold from the wind blowing in from the broken window. The mattress creaks as you close your eyes and try your hardest to fall asleep.
Here we are again, my broken bird. The waves are coming, carrying you away. But you can't go. No, you have to stay. Always half aware of yourself. You're not cooperating, brother man. It's your disgusting body. Even through your sleep, you feel a vague discomfort suffusing it. Your belly and your sides are unpleasantly tender. You wish you could curl up into a fetal ball of safety. But you cannot, because of the pain.
That pain in your right side is your enlarged liver, by the way. As for your kidneys, you've really been compounding the damage lately. But this suffering, it must have some kind of meaning. A story that will come out of it. Perhaps even a story that you will write yourself.
Oh yes, they'll check you out, give you some pills, make it all okay. The Wonder Makers.
Don't be stupid, Harry. It's not happening. They don't make new kidneys and livers in hospital. All you've got to do is pray to God it passes and stare at the flickering darkness.
You're just stuck here, in the half-world. Could try looking at other people, really looking. But why would you want to start doing that? Sure you do. They're all so friendly, aren't they?
At least they're interesting. Each one has a process just like yours, running in the space between their ears, full of secrets. People are beautiful, statuesque, parodies and tragedies of themselves. A great democracy of creatures.
What do you think you're doing right now? Coming to some greater awareness? Look at all these lights, blinking in and out of existence. Thoughts! You're just pretending that you're asleep, even to yourself, while the world goes on without you.
Let it. Let it.
But it never seems to let you go, does it? Time to rise and wipe that shining sweat off as best you can. Gather your bearings. Rock and roll.
Oh, I can actually clean this place up.
The window stands broken in its frame.
Yes?
Oh, it's some other cops.
The woman in an RCM patrol officer's uniform winces as she notices you.
I would really prefer not to talk to you right now.
A patrol officer is the lowest rank in the RCM, below lieutenant and sergeant.
I'm definitely not the cavalry. Yes, I am. I don't know. I mean, why would I want to talk to you? No, you haven't wronged me. It's okay. Okay, fine.
What does one talk about with a fellow officer?
What precinct?
Fucking deranged lunatic.
Think that guy might be your partner in disguise.
You're
I can't-
getting an intellectually unsatisfying vibe from this conversation.
I don't...
Don't say anything, Judith.
I'm just looking out for...
No one. I'm just a man with sunglasses. And you are?
I just want to do my job, that's all.
Something about the man with sunglasses and you, the energy between you two is making her uncomfortable.
You look like shit. And I don't mean that as a metaphor. Oh, don't be so modest. We're looking at several months worth of damage here. Kind of a miracle you're still up and at it, to be honest.
Oh, come on, Jean. It looks like it's been a rough week on him.
It's not just this week. What you want?
There's something about this guy that matches with a face in your head. A similar but different face. He might be wearing a disguise. There's something that binds you to him. Some kind of an outfit, maybe. A uniform. I want to say, yes, I think. Then don't. No one's forcing you.
Yes, it's a hobby of mine.
As if waiting for some kind of reaction or response. Something to click. It's not happening though. Who is this guy?
I'm not getting involved in this.
About what? You don't look like a cop. You know what you look like? Yes, a superstar cop. Of course. This again. No.
No, he doesn't.
If I wasn't clinically depressed, I'd burst out laughing. But I'm gonna go with no right now. Actually, I don't want to hear you say things.
Come on, Jean.
Okay, say things. I want to hear you say things.
Hear that? He wants you to say things. Say one. Suddenly, out of nowhere, case-related things start popping up in your head.
So, do you know who hanged him? Yeah, I can see that. I don't know. Why are you?
It's like you felt it would be intellectually stimulating and would lead somewhere. A custom even? Strange.
Oh my god, there's more. You want something more? What is it? Watch out for yourself, loser.
That voice, so very familiar. Did you hear it when calling to your station and reporting your badge missing?
Oh really? I wonder where. That's the where you remember me from? You don't say. Goodbye then. The voice thing was a coincidence. Run along, asshole.
Let's see. Does he say anything? Nope.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone,
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Sorry, sir. I still haven't heard back from the database people. Try calling again later. Is there anything else I can do for you? 57's over and out.
In the cabin, you see a set of a rusting control panel with loose wires. You grab the handle and pull the lever up. As soon as the metal connects against the contact pins, you hear a loud clunk. Then, the water lock starts moving.
Okay, if we ever need to get to the coast, then this is the way. But please, contain your wanderlust for now. I don't want us to get sidetracked, not with everything that's going on.
Yeah, I might as well go this way first. That's one of the big things. Oh.
A banged-up motor carriage lies half-submerged in the icy water, slowly sinking into the Insulindian Ocean. Only the cabin top, rear wheels, and the engine remain visible. Remember the tire tracks in Martinez? This is where they were leading.
It appears to be so. I agree. We should definitely investigate.
You get a sudden, sinking feeling. Stomach acid comes up as you look at the motor carriage in the deep, dark, cold water. The motor carriage is properly stuck in the ice. Getting it out would require a team of specialists. The logo is too deep in the murky water. You can't make it out, but you do see a monkfish float by.
The ice hasn't closed around the vehicle yet. My guess is it's been here since last Saturday or Sunday.
The estimate is correct. The incident probably occurred on Sunday evening.
If I'm remembering correctly, monkfish is the one that they use for imitation crab meat. Unless I'm possibly, I think they possibly dye it red first, but
Your mocking tone finds no response, but the motion of the waves.
Yes, quite. Let's wait for the low tide and see what's inside.
Great idea. Then we can get the things inside. The joyrider must have left something good inside. Guns, papers, maybe a cool jacket. A joyrider jacket.
I don't know. An hour or two, tops?
As you sit down in the old, rusty playground, the world around you becomes very silent. The hinges creak under your weight, dangerously so. Nothing but the sound of seagulls high above in the sky, echoing like distant laughter. Ice cracks around the blue motor carriage in the sea. The tune on your lips forms a strange yet undeniably beautiful contrast with the surrounding bleakness. The lieutenant gives you a quick glance, then, still looking straight ahead, he joins you with a higher pitched and slightly more melodic trill. Two birds on a wire, whistling by the seaside, looking at the water and the sunken car. The clouds pass in the sky, and the shadow of the swing moves like the hour hand on a timepiece. 30 minutes have passed. Looks like this might take a while. Time to present a good topic for discussion.
Well, historically, leeches have been used to prevent and even cure many ailments.
Okay, he's thinking, I can do this. Let's do this. Who'd want to sit on an anthill? There are no therapeutic benefits to... Well, napalm ants, for example, are used in some rites of passage rituals. Clouds on the horizon grow darker, and the shadow of the swing set keeps climbing. You hear the distant rumble of the city. 30 minutes pass.
Luckily, I am already a member of an independent organization, and therefore do not have to choose between a rock and a hard place.
Your voice echoes on the water, strange and out of place in the environment. 30 more minutes pass.
Yes, 41. What do you think it stands for?
It's as if he knows what it stands for, but wants you to say it. It's pedagogical. Does he know something about the driver of this vehicle?
I'm sorry, Harry. I'm so sorry.
41. Precinct 41. A massive pit opens up in your stomach, and the most terrible feeling comes over you. No. Just nope. Say no to this, Harry.
I'm afraid so, yes. It looks like you started in front of the whirling, jumped over the canal, and then drove your vehicle in the sea right here. Of whom? I don't think so. If anything, you were probably drunk.
Probably. Try definitely.
Detective, we don't. A rescue operation really isn't viable at this point. Yes, let's go take a look.
A police badge on which you see the photo of a man. You. Some seaweed is stuck to the back.
At least something good came out of all this.
Encased between two durable plastic sheets is a bluish card with lines of information and a watermark in the shape of the street grid of Revachol West. You see a photo, a name, a rank, a document number, the date of issue, and, in the lower right corner, your precinct. The man keeps winking at you with his green-grey eyes. The photo is old, no doubt about that. But the badge is new. You used an old photo for a new badge. 8, maybe 10 years. The guy in the picture is rather good looking. He's got a nice haircut and is distinctly lacking in massive sideburns. What do you think? His face is already contorted by the expression, although it looks less grotesque on him than it does on you now. The badge in your hand shines as you rotate it, catching light. You see lines of information on it, and a shining watermark.
Harrier, that's long for Harry. So you are Harry. Evrard was half right. Probably not a lot of people know your full name. Whoever told him you're Harry Dubois didn't. It's a wartime name, revolutionary. The kind mothers give their sons during troubled times, like Undying or Boxer or Ironhide.
A name like armor.
Pleased to make your acquaintance, Harrier Dubois.
The badge in your hands shines as you rotate it, catching light. You see lines of information.
Lieutenant W. Freighter. The lieutenant is a rank above sergeant and below captain. It's the highest rank in the RCM that still does field work. I am a lieutenant. The title of Freighter is added to your rank when you decline a promotion to a higher rank. In your case, captain. You have declined twice, thus you're W. Freighter. There are many reasons one would do this. The rank above you in your precinct's décomptage might be taken, or sometimes promoted officers do not want to replace their superiors out of respect. And sometimes they just prefer the type of police work available to their current rank, in your case, lieutenant. Yes, apparently you've had a rather successful career in the past, and this leads me to believe maybe your current situation is only temporary. Good. Décomptage is the hierarchical system employed by the Revachol Citizens Militia. It means counting down to twos.
The countdown is modeled after the dual leadership system employed by the left during the revolution, which in turn was developed by last century experimental psychologists in the University of Königstein.
The lowest rank is junior officer, usually teenagers. Then there are the patrol officers, then sergeants, lieutenants, and then a captain. That's basically it, except for a few kings. Kings like satellite officers and the additionally a freighter rank I already explained.
The long and short of it is, you're his superior.
You are given the title of satellite officer if your partner is quickly promoted through the ranks and you rise with him. You don't seem to be a satellite. No, I've been putting up with you because despite an unconventional approach, you are doing good police work. It matters more than driving your motor carriage into the sea. And now we've even found your badge.
He trusts you, for now. Try not to spoil it. Such a small yet precious thing, expensive paper caught between thick plastic, like a fly in amber. It reads.
That's just the serial number. Revachol, Jamrock, Precinct 41, with some numbers thrown in there for good measure.
The numbers are not there for good measure. They have an administrative purpose, one that's unfortunately been erased from your memory.
4 months ago. I'm guessing that's when you were promoted to the rank of Lieutenant W. Freighter. A new badge usually comes with a new rank. You seem to have been doing well then.
The case created a lot of edge you have to take off. The death march really gets us going. You're pretty sure you weren't doing well, but better? Probably yes.
Yes, it's the designation of your precinct. 41, like mine says 57. The 57th is mostly industrial harbor, a lot of asphalt. The 41st is... it's a tough station to work in. You have all of Jamrock to cover. That district should have 3 precincts, but money is what it is. But then again, it's a legendary district, and a hell of a station too. It must be an honor and a curse to work with people like Price, McCoy, Berdiaeva.
Roberts, Feuerbach, Dimitri. Suddenly, names from your decomptage flash in your forebrain. The badge in your hand shines as you rotate.
check that. New jacket. Decor, visual. Make sure I got that all saved. Oh.
This is it, the scene of the party. The fire pit. Cigarettes and empty bottles all evidence it. Not as such. I'm talking about what came after the party scene. Looks like they were here a while, judging from all the bottles. The sunken motor carriage provided them a focal point, like a goose ice sculpture or a chocolate fountain.
Looks like it. Not as such, no. Let's keep moving, detective.
Ah. Oh. Okay, let's get fast travel. That might be new to the Final Cut version. Not totally sure.
Hi, officer. Anything I can help you with? A fishing village on the seashore. This place doesn't really have a name. It's sometimes called Elysium. The sign on the street leading here is illegible. Has been since they built this place. The name is Lillian. People call me Netpicker. I think I have time for questions, and that was actually the second one.
Indeed, you're always confused as to your whereabouts.
Let's see. Who are you looking for? I don't think I know what these are. Care to elaborate? Aha! Like snowmen. Two odd guys have been wandering around here, nose in sand, talking nonsense about snowmen and the like. Right. Not only snowmen, also green men, monkey men burning rhinos. You get the picture.
Oh, you're getting it. And it is gorgeous.
Don't really know. Further down the peninsula, I guess. I mean, that's where they were heading. Who else are you looking for besides snowmen? Well, how can I assist you then, officer? Are you? This says by signing, I agree to living with construction noise. What exactly is the union building? What a nice idea. Wouldn't have thought that...
She sounds incredulous about the niceness of the idea.
That Evrart and the union have nice plans for anything. I thought they only cared about themselves. Well, I guess union members have children too.
And those members have a vote when electing the head of the local chapter.
He has a pen and everything. Here you go. I shouldn't have. That's what I asked you. It's a youth centre and I have children. Got to give them something else to do. They're cute and small now, but they're growing up fast. I had my first drink when I was 11 because I was so bored. Anyhow, you also need Isabel's signature. If it's a bad idea, she won't sign. You'll find she's a tougher nut to crack than me.
And not totally sure how I'm going to solve this quest this time, but one option is putting fake signatures on it so you screw over Everard, but he doesn't know until you're long gone.
Sound logic. Division of labor. She leaves the skepticism to the skeptic.
Like I said, fish mostly. Sail the waves, take care of the kids, pick nets. Right now I'm tarring a little skiff. I sell the fish to people in the Delta to serve at their fancy restaurants. Authentic Insular Indian cuisine. Sometimes I also walk to the beach to see what the sea has given up. The sea is full of surprises.
Keep it professional, man. Don't make it sound like you're hitting on her.
Wood, pieces of glass. Every once in a while we see dead bodies. Human, animal, fish, other odd sea creatures. A mine washed ashore once. Bottles, drugs also. Lost cargo in general. Most of the time it's just wood and glass.
All right. Major choice moment. You only get to ask one thing. It would be weird to say them all. Choose wisely.
Well, the RCM has to wait for another one, because some army folks came by, took it in the middle of the bay and blew it up. The blast was surprisingly timid for such a huge spiky thing. Unfortunately, the factory sold this one with a 3-year warranty instead of a story. It's to intimidate folks, mostly. It's a regular mass-produced sword, like a shovel or an axe. Nothing fancy, just for intimidation. From time to time, people need a lesson in respect. That's just the way it is. Back in the day, I caught the eyes of many men. And believe me, men need a lesson in manners from time to time. Some went to patch their wounds, their lesson learned. Others were more thick-headed. And one of them, I ended up marrying. Gone. To the waves. The sea took him. It was a long time ago. He didn't respect the sea. Went out there, drunk like a skunk, and sure enough, one day the boat was found floating empty. The bloated corpse turned up 2 weeks later. Now, before you tell me how sorry you are for my loss, know that it was 4 years ago, and I've moved on. There's only so much mourning you can do for a drunk with sinewy muscles.
She really liked those muscles, though. It's in the way she pronounces sinewy.
Us working folk don't have the luxury to be bedsick with melancholy. I buried him, mourned for an appropriate amount of time, and went on. Life didn't really change that much for me and the kids.
This is neither a touchy nor a very interesting topic for her. She looks like she's ready to go on a date with another, better drunk. Ask her. Both of you could need some action.
I'll maybe try that later, but that's...
Sure is. The sun, I call her, coated with a fresh layer of tar just yesterday. It'll take some time for it to dry, assuming the sunny days continue.
She looks at the boat dripping with slush and nods proudly.
I cannot figure out how I'm supposed to actually use the fast travel.
Yes?
Nope. Weird. Empathy and logic. Plus, alright. Okay, you just can't actually get in there. Shit, might as well see if this guy's anything new to say.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest. This set of soldiers.
You'll probably... I think their poverty has been exaggerated for effect. When you place... Maybe.
Wow, a very large red t-shirt with an impressive print. Oh yeah, the print depicts a muscled man striding toward you, a giant sword in each hand, encircled by burning embers. Behind him is a cluster of cabins engulfed in flames. Beneath him are the words, Hyundal burning.
2 real.
That's dirt cheap.
But why? I deal in goods, not services.
Smells like worn cotton and a little old sweat there. Worn cotton with a side of flea market or trash bin.
Sniffing is okay. But please don't try anything on. Can't have you leaving your photon emissions in the fabric of things you're not going to buy. Welcome to Hyund.
Probably won't need it, but physical. If I have to do a physical instrument check ever, I'm gonna need every advantage I can get. Oh, tank top could do the same, but
The boomboxes wait on the shelves, and your boombox.
And here you are. Quality sound reproduction on the go. It'll play anything.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural? What do I care about some fucking tin eggshells? Ugh, alright, sad piggy. I'll give you this one. I saw a little girl in the fishing village running around with military-grade handwear. Looked cute as hell. If you haven't been there, the village is a shithole down the coast from the main plaza. Have a good time! Piggy, I have no idea why I just told you that. You look like a shaggy dog left in the rain for too long. I have a weakness for animals.
Yeah, that led to nothing, but...
The bear's eyes are still glowing red. It's guarding over the freezing corpse hidden inside its belly.
Okay, perception.
The bear's eyes are still glowing red. It's guarding over the freezing corpse. Your arms reach out and your eyes close, as if by their own volition. It's dark all around. You feel cold, slippery flesh, first with your fingertips, then under the palm of your hand. His face, his cheeks, his nose, his fat, swollen lips. Like a spider, your hand crawls over his features. Everything is silent. The oral cavity is cold and moist. A ball-like tongue attaches itself to the base of the mouth, lolling around like a scallop. A vision of black and dark red death, pried open by your naked hands and studded with teeth. Looks like he's laughing. Death fumes rising from the throat, and there, in the back of his mouth, above the bell of the uvula, right in the soft palate, you see a hole, barely visible to the human eye. It is swollen shut, almost vanished. No larger than 0.4 centimeters in radius, the edges appear darkened. An abrasion collar. This is what we're after.
Abrasion collar.
A black trickle of liquid runs into his throat from the wound. Your index fits right in there. A tight tunnel of flesh opens up. Tissue damage. Wide enough for 2 fingers. As you push both in, you reach through his mouth, right into his brain stem. The basal ganglia feels clumpy. What entered here has torn apart his reptilian complex. This man will never sleep again, never wake. Your fingers slide into the remains of his limbic system. There is no resistance. It's gelatinous. The slug-like structures are damaged too. The tearing extends deep into both hemispheres. This is what he used to regulate his emotions with. The lieutenant answers with the sound of his pen on paper. Your fingers are all the way in now, reaching toward the inside of his skull. The cavity goes further, but the entry wound isn't wide enough for the rest of your hand to follow. Your fingers reach toward his skull. His cerebral cortex feels like jelly, cold jelly. Strange fluid streams down your wrist as you push deeper until you feel it on the tip of your finger. Sharp, serrated material. The edges cut right into your skin.
Can you get to it?
There's a tiny crack, a protrusion in the cranium, right in the back of his head. Your finger must be pointing straight at it, from the inside. The object that is in there stops just short of the skull, in the encephalus, knocking this tiny fracture into the cranium.
We have the makings of a very small exit wound here.
You push your hand further in. Whatever is in there keeps rolling between your fingers as you beckon it to come out. Out comes his small folding knife. The lieutenant moves its blade across the man's skull, searching for the exit wound.
Withdraw your hand 4 centimeters, please.
With a crack, he punches the knife in the skull. Then, one more time, and one more, until the bone comes loose, like eggshell. Inside, you feel the jelly move from his poking.
Yep, I actually passed the perception check this time, so you get the reason you wanted to stick him in the cooler.
Can you push it out?
A small flower of metal blossoms from the man's head, followed by your finger.
So he wasn't hung, he was shot.
A bullet. Unknown caliber. Rifled. You may remove your hand from the victim's head now, officer. Well done. Here is your prize. We need to add an item to the injury list. Injury number 4. Oval entry wound with an abrasion color. Soft palate, back of mouth. High velocity. Temporary cavity in brain tissue. Small exit wound on the occiput. How does that sound? Opinion, fatal injury. And one last thing. We should amend injury number 3. Ligament mark. New opinion, non-fatal. Post-mortem. Treatment.
He's proposing the bullet was the real cause of death, and the hanging an attempt to conceal this fact.
Treatment, officer, is an attempt to manipulate the body after death, to hide the real cause with a false cause. In this case, this injury here. Yes, and the belt around his neck, the hanging, even dragging him to the yard. All of it was done after this man was already dead. I have had my doubts since you showed me the tracks. Why did they carry him over? Why not march him, I thought. There was no satisfying explanation. There have been other signs too. Small details. Everything is too neatly designed for us to assign probable cause here, as we did, full-heartedly. Well, no more.
If you get through the game and you didn't, you find out that's the real cause of death anyway, but you don't get, you get more experience and some new dialogue.
There is, of course, the very real possibility he was both shot and hanged.
To put him out of his misery? It's possible, but it does not explain all the other dubious things here. Lack of struggle, primarily. I may be intellectually sloppy, but I prefer one theory at a time. And this just smacks of treatment to me. That's for us to find out. But this, it will make finding them just a little easier. To hide something. The real killer, the real motivation, what really happened here. Yes, we should take a closer look at it. I am certain it has more to tell us.
This little thing could reveal much about the weapon that shot it.
Oh, you really do. I am glad to hear you say that. Your room in the Whirling in Rise should come with a bathroom. Be sure to make use of it in the evening. We bag the corpse and carry him to the holding pen of my kinema. I can transport him to processing myself, but I will be gone for the rest of the day. Work on the case, tend to personal matters. Try not to do anything too dangerous. An officer needs backup in a neighborhood like this. I'll leave that choice to you. And one more thing. Great work, detective.
After you bag the corpse, Lieutenant Kitsuragi will leave the party until tomorrow morning. You can do side tasks and even the main case, but it might be more difficult. Plan his exit accordingly.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a bunch of just exploration, talking to people and stuff to do over on the other side of town now, so.
All right.
There go those beautiful enamel boots. You will never own the full set now. May they rest in processing.
I will need a little help carrying him. You take the hands, I'll take the legs.
The speakers below are banged up and worthless. The sneakers triumph over them. They're the star of the show here.
Oh, that maybe got me almost all the way to another skill point. And 7 perceptions. Probably good enough for the rest of the game. I don't know if I can actually use that for anything, but just in case.
The bullet is safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp. Kim has filled out the label on the bag with the item number, case number, and date and location the bullet was found. The squished little thing has no idea. I know. You should find the gun that shot this bullet. That sounds like something a police detective would do. First, you should learn all you can about this little guy. Then find the gun that shot it and the person that gun belongs to. He used it to kill your victim. Neato. The squashed bullet has some sharp edges where the jacket has split open. It feels cold, even through the bag. You wouldn't ordinarily have cause to handle jacketed bullets. The citizens' militia uses cast bullets only. Little pebbles of metal loaded from the muzzle, usually in a cartridge. The jacket of the bullet is made of a yellowish metal. It has blossomed out to reveal a dark grey core. The base of the bullet is close to 5 millimeters in diameter. You can just about make out a few striations near the base of the bullet. Little hairlines, linear. It feels standard. It's quite destroyed. Some of the fragments are still lodged in the wound. Far away, Lieutenant Kitsuragi is flipping through stations in his Kanima. He is not here examining the bullet with you. He should be. He would find this very intriguing. Mention it to him later when he's here. Great news. The boat is big enough for a grown man like you to fit underneath it in a supine position. No, wait. Sorry. My bad. There's a rotting dog carcass under there and old fish too. You wouldn't fit next to the mummified canine's mausoleum. Damn dog, taking up all your space. The fish smell is too rank too, though. You have a home somewhere. All cops do. When this is done, you can return. You're not sure about the melody, but it might be South Samaran, possibly Sigayan, also known as the apricot suzerainty.
Welcome to the fishing village. Please lean in closer. I have cataracts. Oh, welcome, police officer. We don't cause any trouble around here. And we don't want any trouble either. Oh, of course. Last time we saw you around here was 12 years ago. You also came to take care of trouble then. Wish you did. But still, in Martinez, you're considered an ill omen. No, not you personally. I meant the RCM. Some of the men got into a fight. One of them killed another, locked himself in that woodshed over there. He was brooding, needed some help opening the door. You got it open for him and took him to think about what he'd done in a more secluded place, somewhere more quiet.
She says it as if he was on some kind of spiritual retreat.
Oh, the usual. Dark tidings. Black hound.
That's you, all right. A black hound licking your own heels.
Maybe they are afraid. Because you're an ill omen. But you're still welcome here. As long as men with guns aren't chasing you. And maybe even then. Because that's the kind of fishing village we've built. I'm sorry there's not a lot of room to park the motor carriage, and not a lot of houses, or a lot of people. My kids are long gone, searching for treasure. So are others. Ah, look at me ramble on. What brings you to us? Stay? Most people here are trying to leave. That said, if lodgings is what you're looking for, I've got a free room in the shack. I won't charge you for it. Take it as a gesture of goodwill from the village to the RCM. That's exactly how they get ya. That's why we built our own cinder block houses on the seaside. So we don't have to give money to those crooks. We might not look like much, but they are ours. Don't make an old woman regret opening her house to the police.
And I don't have to pay money to sleep anymore.
Just us. It's barely a village anymore. We almost don't exist. This is pretty much a known place. A gap, a blank spot on the map, just a cluster of nameless shacks on a nameless street.
The place is so pornographically poor, it's not even funny.
Well, there's Lillian and her kids. A few new folks live in the house to the east, but they are away right now. And then there's the drunks. Not a pretty sight, but there's little we can do about it. Home is home, even for them. Lillian is tough. Tougher than the men here, at least. If it wasn't for her and the kids, this place wouldn't have a spark of life left. Sooner or later, you'll see for yourself. Don't have to look long to find these guys.
She nods, rinsing another piece of cloth.
Not much. There's the abandoned church, the DeLorean Church of Humanity. It's been there since before my time, even. Some things just don't fly, officer. Look around. Who'd go to church here? They built it 300 years ago. Must have been nicer then. The ecclesiastics have tried to get things going there, but things just keep happening. Crime, accidents, other things. The place never stays open. It's a pity. It used to be such a nice church. Before you get to the church, there's some ruins, an apartment complex, or some kind of electrical plant. Run-down bunch of houses, empty. I don't know exactly. A pre-war place. It used to be something. Before the war. I wasn't here then, you know. Was born in Samara. Of note, the old fish market up on the boardwalk. But it's closed. What? You're one of those real estate people with big plans? If you want a development opportunity, you can check out the abandoned building over at Land's End. Used to be a supply depot, we think, sending goods and ammo across the bay. It's jammed shut though. We tried to get in, see if there was anything to sell or scavenge, but it's impossible. And now you know everything there is to know about this coast. Me? No one. Just an old washerwoman. Mother called me Isabel, if that's what you're asking. And my married name is Sadie. Now it's your turn, Mr. Quite a handle you got there. So many titles. One of them double. Eh? What's this about? Come now, I can't read all this scribble. Tell me what it says. Huh, I might be half blind, but it looks like part of the village is gonna be a street. The best part. The part we need to get out of our houses. I see Lillian's name is already here. The girl is too trusting. Either way, I won't sign union papers. I've seen it all before. You think they've got our interests at heart? Rich men are always selling poor men promises they never plan to keep. Then the poor get pushed out of their homes and the rich get a little richer. That's the way it goes. So, no, I don't trust the fat man, and neither should you.
In her mind, the Union is right-wing because Everard is fat. It's that simple, and there's no change in it. She is headstrong, but there's a slight hesitation in there. You may be able to convince her.
Nah, if she says it's sketchy, I'm not gonna force it. Fact.
You take the legal documents out of the envelope, a 12 to 40 month construction period, and the zoning plan in the addendum. Underneath all this, Lillian's signature and an empty line waiting for a signee. The youth center cuts into the ocean like the bow of some great modern ship. Apparently, it's going to cover most, if not all, of the street and the square between the existing houses. It's 3 stories tall. It's going to be awfully close to the already existing buildings, almost wall to wall, practically integrating them into the youth center. This is either an ominous or cool architectural choice. Hard to say. My money is on cool. Looks like a cubic pyrite. There doesn't seem to be anything of interest here. No fine print. You're smart. You can read.
I'll just pump logic when I get another level.
The door has seen better days. The layer of paint has started to peel off due to the salt and wind from the sea. Even the lock looks slightly rusted. The key turns with a satisfying click. You can enter the shack now. The bed is comforting, if a bit run down.
Nice. Can use logic.
An old mirror hangs on the wall. You see the reflection of your face in it, adorned with the expression. On the table, you see a bowl of water, a rough soap, and next to it, a small hand mirror. A straight razor soaks inside the wash basin. Scrubbing all the necrotic tissue off your hands takes a while. The fingernails are especially hard. Death has made its way into every nook and cranny. But man persists. And finally, your bruised hands look clean and presentable. Sort of. The sudden absence of the morbid dead tissue smell is uplifting. The water reflects back a vague image of your face. Nose bulbous and red. Hair unkempt. Wrinkles lining the eyes and forehead. The stash is gigantic. A fresh start looms ahead. Clean yourself up and be born anew.
Nah, you don't want to stop doing the expression. You don't want to shave off his mutton chops. It just looks like this looks sad without it. Yeah. This my first time through the game. That was one of the few times I did something and then just like I fucked up and reloaded. Okay, so I'm gonna level up logic, then change into some logic outfits. Alright, then interact with that envelope again.
You take the legal documents out of the envelope. A 12 to 40, there is no loophole. The simple truth is, the current residents are going to lose their street access, and for the next 12 to 40 months, their lives will be dominated by constant construction noise right next door. Once the construction starts, it will probably take a few months, a year maybe, for even the most stubborn occupants to get tired of living like this. After that, they'll sell their property for cheap and move out. Well, you could trick Ever up. Get someone random to sign the document. By the time the union boss finds out, your business here will be already concluded.
Okay, I can't just do it myself. That's... I think I know who I'm gonna get, hopefully get to sign it. Just see what's in here. Money and healing supplies.
Kuno's like Kuno's dad. Kuno doesn't give a fuck about anything.
Dang, I can't make Kuno sign it. Let's see. Yeah. I might not do any speed, but this unlocks a side quest.
Fucking right, pig. Kuno's filling bathtubs with that shit. Kuno's a kingpin. Fuck no, pig. Kuno ain't dealing to the popo. Not doing the pork pen for your sad speed habit. You don't know Kuno.
Belying the act, he's actually telling the truth. Or at least 0.00001% of it. He has a little speed. He's just not giving it to you. He's got to at least know a source. Look at him. You need to figure this out somehow. You need to befriend him first.
Okay, gotta...
Kuno doesn't fucking care.
Dang, yeah. You're not like struggling for skill points in this game, but you kinda pick a handful that you're gonna level up and some that you're not, and yeah. So it's probably where it's probably not gonna get to do. It's not a whole big quest line, but ends with you seeing his apartment, like or I'd say you meet his father, but he's like passed out drunk. Let's see, who else could I get to sign that?
Hi, Ace Detective. Are you here for more books?
You have absolutely no idea. Familiar? How? You must have forgotten something you heard again.
Looking for something to read. It is. I know you are. What with? My husband? No, he's not. You're welcome.
The woman before you nods and returns to her reading.
Free coat.
Hello again, officers. Have you...
Okay, I think it's just the kids in the fishing village that you have sign it.
There. Working class drunk. You know what this means, right? Cracked it. All in a good day's work. What do you mean, what did I crack? Look at how working class that drunk is. No. Stop goofing around, recruit. Yes, and you found him. Now go and tell the working class woman. Protect and serve, recruit. Didn't she repeatedly tell you her husband isn't missing though? Do marriages make any sense? Does honor? You're not a filthy philosopher. You're an officer of law. It's time to ace this case and not brood over your reputation. We can deal with the perception management later. Not honorable, recruit. Not honorable at all.
Now that I've secured a place to sleep, I just go kind of start in one direction and search the new part of the map. Boy. Ah, okay, that's how I get in there. Oh shit, music. Yes.
Rust peels off the bent iron posts of the swing. The wind whistles through the skeleton of the small house behind you. There's desolation everywhere. In this yard, someone thought they could have a summer house on the beach for cheap. It didn't work out. Looks like they abandoned it. This is a good place for a nice, sad drink. Uncork a velvety bottle of red wine and think about life for a moment. Really philosophize.
I believe that is the tape I was looking for.
The porter reel is just what you needed. The reel's attached to the apparatus with a satisfying click. The tape is routed behind the magnetic reader. You press the large button marked commence, and the tape starts spinning. There's a small delay before the song starts playing. Then the organ starts playing a simple, melancholic tune echoing in the hallway. A lone singing voice joins in, telling you about the tiniest church in Cessons, surrounded by even tinier yard. You almost feel the seaside mist on your skin. It's mega sad. Within seconds you know, this is the one, the real shit you've been looking for. The one you trust your room to that Claudia told you about. Perform it. A click. Then silence for a bit. Then the tape stops spinning. Of course you could sing this. You could take sad to a whole new level with this. And you already know the lyrics since you've listened to it like a million times. Yep, they're all here. All 3 verses. And the B-side of the tape contains the instrumental version. It's like the world itself is telling you to do it. Only one obstacle stands on your way. Gart, you have to convince Gart to let you sing karaoke in the whirling. After you've won him over, you can express yourself. Let the pain out. Make everyone understand.
And I will definitely do that, but I'm gonna wait for... I will wait for Kim, because I do not want to deprive him of the karaoke performance. +2 drama. Don't think... Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think I have enough Inland Empire to do the horrific necktie quest. I think it would have... beginning of that would have popped by now, but... If it doesn't pop, I'll talk about it when we get to the part of the game when I would have the part where it stops this being goofy dialogue and intersects with the actual plot. Oh. Shit, do I wanna... Yeah. Yeah. I'll throw that on if I have a drama check and I remember.
You sit on the wind-worn wooden planks of the bench. Your feet ache.
Okay, it's just a way to pass time. Moralist pants.
Mister?
She clutches a small stuffed animal. Occasionally, she twirls it around.
Yes, I am. Little Lily. You know my mom? That's nice. My mom is great.
She's never angry or anything. Oh, I had gloves. Very big ones. Heavy, too. Found them when Lemmy and I were playing hide and seek. In an empty house. Where no one lives. I think someone hid them there.
She doesn't want you to think she stole them.
I hid them. The twins were gonna take them. They're stupid. Why? Oh. They're in my sandcastle. Behind our house. Under the sand. You can break the castle. It's not very good. It's Lammy! He's my friend. Sort of.
Lambie is a stuffed lamb that, admittedly, has seen better days. One of the eye buttons is missing, and the fur is tattered in several parts.
Lammy usually doesn't like strangers. But you're also fuzzy, like Lammy. It's a grouse.
You might be able to get on Gart's good side if you make up for the skewer you broke.
Sure, just go and get it. I don't like it anyway. It looks angry.
All right. Yes. You just need to grab it from the ceiling and go.
Bye!
Sick.
The scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone. He can't be more than 5 years old. The other one looks indistinguishable from him. He watches his brother kick the stone with his tongue lolling out of his mouth. This one doesn't say anything, kicking the concrete with his worn-out sneaker.
Lily's our mum.
The stone kicker laughs suddenly. His head is too large for his shoulders. The other one laughs as well. Wow, so intellectually stimulating. The stone-kicking one becomes frantic all of a sudden, as if that's something to be scared of. The obvious fact that you just stated.
He looks just like me.
The boy doesn't answer. His brother throws another rock. Both of their hair is covered in some kind of dirt. The rock kicker was just being shy, but now he's enthusiastic again.
They got nothing.
The noxious odor emanating from the drunken man is strong and familiar.
Don't you call her? Yeah! Don't call Abigail! Abigail. Don't you fucking call Abigail.
You're not going to get anything out of this guy. He's too drunk. Never thought you'd see such a thing in your life. But this guy's a little too drunk.
Don't call Abigail.
Good to see you, friend. Do I have deals set up for you, buddy boy?
Does he actually know you? Or is he just shopkeep friendly?
So what do you want? I got smokes. They're cheap. Very cheap. I got Pilsner. Great deal. You won't get a better deal on that piss. Spirits I can let go for 300 real. I also have speed. And by speed, I mean amphetamine. Oh, the system's been good to old Rosemary here, and I'm milking her like a bitch goat in the backyard. You see, friend, man makes his own luck, and I made mine real good. Got my hands on 3 bottles of liquor exquise. Sold 2 to the fellows around here, and immediately invested the profit. Bought cigarettes, bought beer, even bought a bit of speed. And look at me now. I've got everyone on my hook.
The hook? Where is it? I can't see it.
Of course, of course, of course. It is what it is, you know. What it's always been. People, buddy boy. It's the people. Sure, friend. You know it.
Don't mind old Rosemary here. He's a buffoon. Let's have a word after your high-concept transactions. I'll give you the lowdown.
In the civilized world, it's a custom to tip the shopkeep, friend. But come back anyway.
Hey, Tequila! Good to see you. How's business? How's the whole reality situation treating you? So what's happening? Yeah, Tequila Sunset. How are the, high-concept, reality-based adventures proceeding?
He says it like it's obviously your name. Like you call someone Billy Brunel or leader of the 4th Street Gang.
It's good to hear that you're on top of things. Talking about used to, did you know that I used to be a real mover and shaker? Sadly, things aren't going that well in Idiot Doom Spiral Land. Haven't found those keys yet, haven't won that great piece of ass back. No word from my business buddies.
Idiot Doom Spiral, huh? This is bound to be a good, high-concept conversation. At last.
What's it about? I'll let my hand address the situation. Maybe you've heard. I used to be a very successful businessman. I've signed more than a few lease forms or whatever the fuck they were. Anyone's got a pen? The pro's gonna do it. All right. Don't know if I've mentioned it, but I used to be a businessman. And as a businessman, I am going to keep the pen. For my trouble. Hey guys, I'm a hero.
Hell yes!
Don't call Abigail!
Anything else this merry band of adventurers can do for you? Or do you need to go and mail that serious-looking document of yours? There's a mailbox on the plaza.
You take the legal documents out. Weather has not been kind to Lily's little sandcastle. The once mighty towers are quickly eroding away. You can see something shining back to you from what must have been a vast underground catacomb network. A gust of wind disintegrates another piece of the cellar ceiling, exposing more of the mysterious glimmer underneath. The shithole's about to collapse. Smooth, reflective surface. Are these the gloves you're looking for? The walls and floors give way to the giant's greed, collapse and present you with a pair of ceramic gauntlets.
One of those two. +2 interfacing. Cool. Those two plus. Actually, I will. They look ridiculous, but...
As you fold your fingers into a fist, you realize you could knock anyone out with one punch. The white ceramic gloves wrap around your digits comfortably. Your movements cause tiny little clicks, like dice rolling somewhere far away, as the plates reorient to your motions. The hardened vitreous enamel, at once sleek and light, adds a glow to your cheeks and a spring to your step. Just imagine what a full suit of this stuff could do for you. You really do feel more confident. Invulnerability does that. Even partial invulnerability. Remember, this is a highly specialized kinetic redistributor meant to stop bullets. Wear it. Observe its properties. See if there's a weakness in the design. For the day you have to fight someone covered in the same material.
Foreshadowing. I think I'm gonna... Okay, let's see. That's the way forward. Alright, yeah, I think... Oh, shit. It's kind of late now, so... Sunday night's not usually when people show up to watch streams. So, I just wanted to get back into playing Disco Elysium. I think I'm gonna drop a save here. Call it for tonight. No stream tomorrow. And let's see. If I stream like Tuesday or Wednesday, it's gonna be in the morning. So I got some weird shit going on with my job, but yeah, I'll maybe do some early morning Disco Elysium streams, try to get this knocked out, and yeah, I'll have some more time next weekend. Alright. Yep, you're still there. Thanks for coming by. Anyone watching the video, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Oh, shit, it's over here now. Yeah. Alright, later everyone.